Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Fullerton, and tonight I want to talk about an aspect between Spanish and English that should be a very simple comparison, but it's like a lot of things that seem simple on the surface, a whole lot more complicated under the hood. I want to talk tonight about what happens when we put an ing on a verb in English, and I want to compare that with what we do in Spanish. Now, until you've studied another language, you really don't know as much as you probably think you do about your own because you have nothing to compare it to. But when you study another language, you do have something to compare it to, and oftentimes it shows you that what you're doing in your native language is actually more complex than you thought. Here is a case in point. In English, when I put an ing on a verb, I am doing one of two things with that verb. I am either making it into what we call a gerund. That is, a gerund is when I use a verb as a noun. I'll do that by adding ing to a verb. Reading will broaden your horizons. Exercising is good for your health. Smoking is bad for your health. All right, that's one thing I do. Another thing I do by putting an ing on a verb is I add a continuous or a progressive aspect to that verb. And I will often use those verbs with helping verbs like the different forms of to be. I am reading, we are working, they are eating. Now, something we do in English with those, however, is we'll do that when we're talking about something in progress, but we have another curious thing we do. We'll do that if we're talking about something that will happen in the near future. I am leaving at 2 o'clock. She is working this Saturday, etc. Now, here's what you need to know. In Spanish, if I want to add a continuous or a progressive aspect to a verb, I put ando or yendo on those verbs. Estoy trabajando. I am working. Ellos están leyendo. They are reading. Estamos hablando. We are speaking. However, that is the only time we do that. We never use ando or yendo forms to make gerunds. That is to use a verb as a noun. Instead, I'll use an infinitive. El leer amplia tus horizontes. Reading broadens your horizons. El hacer ejercicio es bueno para tu salud. Notice that we always put the word the on there. And another thing, we never use ando or yendo forms to talk about something that is going to happen in the near future. Instead, we just say going to.